Hello, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Joshua Harvey, also known as the East Coast Raver. I'm a video content creator documenting music festivals that I attend, as well as sharing my experiences and reviews with helpful tips for people that attend these festivals at future dates. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing Tomorrowland 2023 at Sendo's Dreamville. The location of this festival is in Boom, Belgium. It takes place across 2 weekends, the first weekend for this year being in July 20th through the 23rd, and the second weekend being July 27th through July 30th. 2005 was the first year that Tomorrowland took place. It was a single weekend event before it expanded into a double weekend and then adding on Dreamville later on. This festival offers 2 types of ticket purchases if you're just purchasing solo tickets by themselves. That would either be the Full Madness ticket or the Full Madness Comfort ticket, which is the VIP ticket. This festival does offer camping. If you are doing camping, you will stay at Dreamville, Tomorrowland's premier campsite. There are 4 sections that you can choose to camp in at Dreamville. I'm going to go over the 4 sections that you can choose from, briefly describe what they kind of offer and entail, and then I will tell you which package that I went with. Each one of these packages has different tiers that you can pick from when you are picking your camp packages, so you need to be aware of what your price range is, because knowing what all the different packages that can be offered does not mean that you're guaranteed that you're going to get that package when you go on during the global journey buy on day. That being said, it took us 3 hours and 3 people trying to secure our packages for this year's Tomorrowland. The first section I'm going to talk about is going to be Magnificent Greens. This is the pitch your own tent area. This is also the largest area on the map for camping. And it is also the host of where almost all of food stuff, all of the food vendors, the gathering takes place kind of close to Magnificent Greens. The gym is over by Magnificent Greens. Like, there's just a lot of things inside Magnificent Greens area as opposed to the opposite side of the map. There is the camp to camp area inside this section, which from my understanding was where they provide you your camping tent and some small items, and then you return said items or you get to keep said items at the end of your camp. If you did not want to bring any of your camping items with you, there was also that option to do that for the Magnificent Greens checkout. Spectacular Easy Tents. This is where the tents are already pre-pitched. They provide everything inside your tent from your bed to your electrical outlet, your sleeping bags and your pillows, a lamp, and I want to see a hand mirror, and everything's pretty much just all set up for you. This is supposed to be a more like the start of the elevated glamping experiences with these packages. The Montegos or Montagues, I'm not really sure how to pronounce this, is the 3rd tier of camping that you can choose for Tomorrowland's Dreamville. These are more elevated glamping styles. All of the camping tents are up off the ground. They all come with their own single person cot / bed for you to sleep on, and host generally 2 people per tent. This area also had a heated swimming pool and a jacuzzi, from what my friends that stayed in this area this year told me during the event. They also included free hot showers, which, if you know anything about most music festivals that offer showers, it's usually you have to pay for them. So I thought that was another next level of comfort worth paying for if you didn't want to have to budget for the extra money for that and you could splurge on the Montegos, then this would probably be an option for you. The most expensive place that you can stay in Tomorrowland is definitely going to be the mansions. And yes, you heard that correctly. They are literal, like, little tiny homes that have a full kitchen, a bathroom, AC, everything set up on premises. All of your needs and wants are pretty much taken care of, but like I said, it is the most expensive option, and these options do sell out really quickly for Tomorrowland. So be prepared to have backup options, have a B, C, D, and E plan, because getting into that queue is going to be very hard. It is the hardest thing you can do. Make sure you pre-register and have everything set up so that way you're able to go through during checkout. Make sure you also have a credit card that has enough of a limit that allows you to make international purchases beforehand because you do not want to get your card declined. This is a reason why a lot of the people get sent back in the queue and then packages come up for resale during the Global Journey sale, because people's cards get declined and then they're not waiting to sell them out. Like if you get kicked out, you're back in rotation, your package might get sold the next time you come back through. So just a heads up on that. On top of the ticket selling at a future date, there is also the food add-ons that you can do for restaurants and for Dreamville. The add-ons for Dreamville include breakfast buffets that you can get for each day of the weekend, as well as breakfast boxes that you can also purchase and have them picked up and delivered to your tent. Like I said, these go on sale at a different date, and I highly recommend that if you aren't going to budget for food every single day, which can get kind of costly because things are done in pearls, which is not equivalent to regular euros or dollar standards, I would suggest trying your hardest to do one of these food options because it will definitely help mitigate your cost. And for the amount that we had every day for breakfast, I felt it was entirely worth it. What type of package did I purchase? We ended up going with the spectacular easy tent setup. This came with 2 festival wristbands. Our entire tent provided everything for us, from our mattress, our sleeping bags, all of that comfort stuff. This was very much like a Desert Rose setup for EDC Las Vegas. If you've done EDC Las Vegas for Camp EDC, this is kind of what you would expect going into Tomorrowland. Plus, this option for easy tents allows you to bring your own tent home with you, which is what I did, which is what you guys can see is this back here is my camping tent. So that was one of the things that made it really worth it to us. In price comparison for my first Tomorrowland, I wanted to bring home as much of Tomorrowland as I could. And I did. So we also purchased 2 breakfast buffet packages where we ate on Friday and Sunday. We also purchased 2 breakfast brunch boxes that we had delivered to our tent each morning. That was a blessing for Saturday and Sunday. Hangovers were real, guys. They love to drink here in Europe. Just saying, like, I cannot, y'all saw the vlogs. I was a little hungover most of the weekend, so it was a blessing to not have to like put on full amounts of clothes and just like immediately have to go sit down and or be around so many people to eat breakfast. I could just eat in my tent and I loved it. We also did the Global Journey packages, but we decided that since we wanted to travel Europe beforehand, we did not do it from America to Europe and then to Dreamville. We took our own flights into Europe the week before during the start of weekend 1 of Tomorrowland. Traveled Europe for the first week, and then we left from Bonn, Germany, and got on the double-decker bus from there to Dreamville. This was actually a lot of fun. You get to meet tons of people that are just going to the festival, and you're around festival family the entire time. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be around the people you're camping with, but it's nice to see familiar faces from when you're checking in and then going about the festival. So it definitely makes you feel like you know a lot more people through this process, and it makes the big festival not seem as big. Since we were doing Dreamville, we had our own camping entrance for this festival, and we had our own separate camping checkpoints that we had to go through. So each campsite that you go into, Magnificent Green, Spectacular Easy, the Montegos, or the Mansions, all have their own security point you have to go in and out of, and you have to tap to go in and out with your wristbands to get in and out of each of these sections. Now, going in every single time you get checked. So you going in the first time, they checked our luggage, they checked everything on us. Going in and out of the festival, same thing. Your bag was checked. If you did not have a bag, then you were given a pat down. You're still given a pat down if you had a bag. They just have to check your bag if you have a bag. So you're constantly checked going in and out of this festival to make sure that you're like approved to be in like the right areas, which made me feel even more secure. I really enjoyed the fact that I actively saw security walking around, patrolling the campsites, and like, just kind of keeping an eye on things. Not that things were super rowdy at night. I think everyone in our area was like really respectful, including the fact that like we were up till like almost 5-6 o'clock in the morning every single night. Like, so That was one thing I really did appreciate, especially with everything that's going on with music festivals lately. Like, security is like a big thing on me. I will say they were very thorough going in. A little bit better of a job than when I went to EDC Las Vegas. They at least opened up my luggage and kind of like actually poked around a little bit. The only thing I got taken away was a glass of Nutella, which in Europe, everything is sold in glass jars, and they don't allow glass into this festival. So that was a little on our part. I was a little sad to part with my Nutella, but it is what it is. Other than that, like, I had no issues getting through security into the camping sites at all. Any of the times they were just like, let me see inside your bag, go through the metal detector thing, you're in. Or they wand you down. It just really depended on where you went, if it was a metal detector or they wanded you down. As far as the camping entrance to the actual festival goes, same thing for that one. I didn't have any hard times getting through either of the days. I will say one of the things I did notice, because we use lunchbox products, I brought my lunchboxes with me. I had my snack pack with me. So I felt like I had everything that I needed to go in through security each day and make it easy for them. But because I guess lunchboxes aren't really sold in overseas too much, / people don't really use their products over there, they didn't really check the bottom of my bag either days. They were really only concerned about the top half, which, not to brag, but I was able to sneak in liquor literally every single day because of this. And y'all can use that information what you will. If you use their products next time and you go to Tomorrowland, let me know how that works for you. But yeah, I had no issues getting stuff in. I took in literally like 4 or 5 cans of beer every single morning with me when we walked through. Like I said, they were only concerned with opening the top half of my bag. That being said, security on the first day was the longest. Day 2 and 3 was like super easy to get in and out. It was less than 10 minutes. Day 1 was like probably the longest, about like 20 minutes was the wait to get in, but that was to be expected. It's day 1. I saw way more fanny packs than I did hydration bladders. It doesn't seem that anyone like really like brings water with them anywhere inside the festival. Going inside the festival each day, you do go through metal detectors. I also got a pat down one day going through, and then not the other day, so there just really wasn't consistency too much with that. Usually a metal detector or a wand, and then either a pat down or just a bag search. So I know that I heard some stories about people getting like turned away at the door for things, or things being confiscated that weren't on the like acceptable items list. So just be aware of like what you're bringing into the festival. Also, your surroundings if you are bringing other things into the festival, because there are signs all over the place that they do not tolerate drugs whatsoever. And I did hear rumors that people were kicked out left and right for doing said substances in the open. So just be aware of your surroundings. Let's talk about food vendors. So I didn't really eat too many of the food from inside. Vendors were actually inside the Magnificent Greens area / over towards the gathering stage of the festival. So it was a bit of a hike from where we were at on the map. I'll pop up a map here just to give you guys kind of an idea of where we were located at in relation to where we had to travel every day for breakfast. So the only time I really went here was for the gathering, when we were going to our breakfast buffets on Friday and Sunday. And then like if I needed something, we did all of our merch shopping here in this area. So it was very far and few between. Thankfully, inside where we were camping at, they had like a small row of like food vendors that we didn't have to necessarily walk all the way back there to get food. So we did the breakfast buffet. It was amazing. They start you off in the line with all of your little deli meats and cheeses to make your little breakfast sandwiches. You get your different types of pastas and orzo pasta, quinoa salad, stuff like that in the beginning. French toast, little pancakes, all the different types of toppings for that. And then you move on to the next section, which is all of your scrambled eggs and proteins and little sausage links, your bacon. In the center of the area of where you're sitting at, there is 2 tables that have nothing but different types of breads and pastries with butters and jams for you to eat. There's also a fresh fruit cutting section and a table filled with nothing but flavored water. They also had a coffee bar and a watering station where you could choose to either get still or sparkling water, unlimited at your discretion. And you best believe I drank as much of the water as I could each morning at this place, and also filled up my hydration pack before I went in each day, because water is not free in Tomorrowland. There are no water stations. Popular to contrary belief, that is more of an American thing, and they basically pay for everything at their festivals. So I paid for most of my waters the entire time that I was there. So just putting that out there. Budget for that, because I'm not about to be doing what I saw other people doing, which was drinking from the hand washing stations. That to me is just a little unsanitary when people are at the bathroom and going to the bathroom. So I saw plenty of people doing that. Let's just not. Ugh. Twice we got the breakfast boxes, which were a godsend. We had those picked up and then delivered to our tent area in the Spectacular Easy tents. They were the same thing each time we got them. It was an Israeli-inspired breakfast, which consisted of a basically like an Israeli yogurt, some hummus with some scrambled eggs and paprika, this cucumber, tomato, pomegranate relish that they made with like this dressing that was divine. It had like fresh mint in it. It came with 2 croissants and a plethora of jams, butters, and Nutella for you to spread on all your stuff. So this was actually probably a really hearty breakfast in my opinion, and for the amount of money and food that we got, I think it also came with drinks. It was the perfect little like sit in our tent and not make a mess type thing that we could actually sit here and eat every morning. And I was actually very thankful for that on Saturday and Sunday to have those, because I was hungover. Like I was saying before, in the Easy Tent area, there were 3 vendors for food and 1 vendor for drinks. The drink station sold quite a bit of everything from fresh squeezed juices to alcoholic beverages and waters and just different types of things to keep everyone hydrated or libacious. I thought that was a nice option, that we didn't have to walk all the way back to Magnificent Greens to get food and drink if we wanted, and they were open pretty freaking late. I don't think they ever really closed, so you could pretty much get food any hour of the day. We definitely took advantage of this a couple of the nights. One of the nights afterwards, we got burgers and french fries, and then on the morning that we were leaving to check out, we definitely hit them up for their breakfast sandwiches. We got what was called their ham and cheese papadini. I think I'm saying that right. It was basically like a quesadilla, and it was honestly very filling and very delicious and flavorful. So everything I had food-wise inside Dreamville was pretty spot on. Like nothing was disgusting or out of the ordinary. I don't feel like I got really ripped off on any of the packages that I did for the buffets or the breakfast boxes, and I honestly would recommend doing those next time I go to Tomorrowland. There are surprisingly actual restrooms at Tomorrowland. That's right, you heard me say it. You are not using porta potties at this festival. They flush and everything. There are people taking care of them and attending them. The only time I didn't see people attending the bathrooms is when there was heavy rain and they needed to seek shelter. But for the most part, yes, there are people cleaning your bathrooms, scrubbing the toilets, making sure that they are not disgusting when you go. Now I'm going to touch on the showers, and I'm only going to account for the ones in the Spectacular Easy tent section because that is the only ones that I was able to use, and I did not go use the showers anywhere else. The showers in Spectacular Easy tent are free if you're using the outside showers. They do also offer hot showers that were inside a tented area for 2 pearls per shower. Now, this got you unlimited time to take showers while you were in there. It also allowed you to charge your phone if you needed a place to charge your phone. Or if you were a girl and you were straightening your hair and you needed like a makeup station to get ready, there were plenty of places with mirrors and outlets to straighten, blow dry your hair, whatever you needed to do. There were also plenty of sink areas for you to brush your teeth, as well as any other face care routine stuff that you needed to do that needed more attentive detail than you can provide yourself inside your tent. All right, let's talk about the merch in Dreamville. To be honest, this was probably one of my biggest letdowns about Dreamville. I personally felt like it was the most unorganized and most chaotic part about Dreamville entirely, because everything else from check-in to security and all of that and finding our tent and getting everything set up was a breeze. This, however, was the most annoying part of the entire time after we were trying to go to the gathering. After we got everything unpacked and we met up with our friends, we knew everything was at, we spent the most time at the merch booth. When you go in, there's a wall. Like, there's merch lining the walls, and then you have to go up and remember the numbers that are written on the walls next to each individual item. And then on the wall facing the people checking you out, there's also more merch back there for you to also try to receive and write down your stuff. All while there are just people swarming the desk trying to get to the checkout counter. And let me tell you, they're throwing elbows, they're pushing, they're shoving, they're not being nice. These are not your family-friendly ravers at this point. They are money-hungry people trying to buy as much merch as they can. At one point during the checkout, I saw a guy inappropriately grab a woman, and she reared back and yelled at him and slapped him, like open hand slapped him for touching her. And that's when I was just like, okay, this crowd is becoming just like wildly disrespectful in here. I actually had to go back in because I bought this t-shirt and I bought a jacket because it was very cold on Thursday and it was raining, and I wanted to be warm after being cold and wet all day. So I bought a jacket. They do not allow you to try on merch when you go there, so be aware of that. I bought the size that I normally buy in jackets, and it did not fit me. So I tried to take it back. I went and stood back in an hour and a half in the line to get back through to get my merch exchanged. They do not do exchanges on merch, FYI. Thankfully, the jacket fit my boyfriend, and then they still had that same jacket in stock in the one size up that they went to. So I was able to actually get it in that size, and it actually fit me. And then me and my boyfriend coincidentally had matching jackets the rest of the weekend. So, aww. But yes, so I was a little discouraged by that. I felt like they could do a little bit better at having more organized lines, and I did not care for that. The pushing and shoving was unnecessary, and the fact that you would stand at the front counter and the person checking you out would look like they're like Stevie Wondering and like, who's next? And then just freaking pick some person like standing next to you, like, 2-3 people down, and it's just like, I'm literally in front of you. Why are you not taking me? Like, it made no sense. I wanted to add that there are things like the balloon station where you can go get balloons, and you can attach them to your book bags, your wrists, different parts of your outfit, your tent if you really want to. There's also the Loop earplugs stand station where you can go buy your high fidelity earplugs. I definitely took advantage of this and got myself a pair of the Tomorrowland brand because I wanted to see what they were like, and they did not disappoint. My only complaint about them was I do not like the link cable that goes with them, because it does not make sense that you have a rubber band piece that pulls off and can easily detach mine, because I had mine around my neck and it got tagged on something and pulled right off, and I lost one of my earplugs. So yeah, Loop, if you feel like replacing one of those, that would be great, but honestly, I can't really do much with one Loop earplug, so it's kind of a wasted product for me now. And I didn't really, other than using it at the festival, get to use it outside of that. So I felt like I kind of wasted my money on it, but it is what it is. There is also a vape store on site because they try to curb cigarettes as much as possible, which I did see a lot more people smoking vapes than I did see people smoking cigarettes at this event. There's a SIM card replacement store as well as a phone fixing store right next to the general store, which had all your essential camping needs. There was also a food market if you wanted to buy like individual like food items, yogurts, bananas, stuff like that, to take back to your tent to keep with you. So if you didn't buy anything to bring in with you to begin with, which there's only one Aldi's in the town of Boom that everyone goes to, so be weary of that if you do not get camping supplies beforehand or food items, that there is not that many options once you actually get to the city of Boom. There is also a gym on site. I'm not sure about the hours. You'll have to check it when you check into camp to see when they are allowing people to work out. I know it's generally during the day, and it was pretty busy every time we walked past it to go to breakfast. There's also a huge first aid store where if you need anything, and I mean anything, I literally just needed Tylenol one day and I went in, and it was the easiest process to check in. Everything's done on your mobile phone, and I was able to be seen within like 10-15 minutes of checking in. Like, there was a couple other people ahead of me, so it was a little bit longer of a wait. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was astronomically long or hard to get assistance in another country with anything that I needed, because I didn't bring Tylenol with me. So there was also a camp counselor section. Each one of the camping sections is a giant pillar in the center of the camping site of each one of the sections that you can usually go ask them for anything that you need involving like a pump, or if something breaks or you need something exchanged out in your tent area. I don't know if they're in the Magnificent Green section, but I know that they're in all of the other ones, the Spectacular Easy, the Montegos, and the Mansions. So just keep that in mind. Like, you're not alone once you check in. Like, there are people in there, and there is also security that roams around to keep the premises safe and make sure there's no one just getting too overtly rowdy. So the camp vibes for Tomorrowland's Dreamville were immaculate. To be honest, it really felt like we were camping back at EDC Las Vegas, and I really enjoyed everyone that I got to meet that we were camping next to. These people honestly really made camping at Tomorrowland that much more special, because some of the people inside the festival were not the best, and I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'm going to save that for my second Tomorrowland review video of the actual festival itself. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the vibes that came from everyone inside Tomorrowland Dreamville during the gathering. It was honestly just very immaculate. From the after parties to everyone just being very nice to each other, like helping out with your tent if you needed something, like they got you. Like, I really enjoyed running into like all the Americans that I did. Now I have more friends back home to go to festivals with back here that I know. So you just never know who you're really going to run into. We're going to do a breakdown analysis of how much it actually cost for me to go to Tomorrowland 2023. Since I did not do the full global journey package from America to Dreamville, I paid a little bit more for my ticket initially. So our flights for 2 people there and back cost us $3,200. The price of our Tomorrowland Spectacular Easy tent setup cost us 2,200 euros. We did a 24-pack cold beer pickup upon checking into Dreamville, which cost us 29 euros. The breakfast buffet add-ons cost us €22.50 each person each day that you do these. And we did 2 of those. For a grand total of a little less than $6,000 is what it cost us to actually go to Tomorrowland with all of our add-ons and our flight packages included. This also does not take into account that I spent more money on hotels and all the other traveling I did the week prior before Tomorrowland actually happened. Thankfully, I think the way we budgeted everything by paying for things in advance and having credit cards to put things on really helped us, mitigate having to pay a lot of things up front. This allowed us to plan and budget for everything that we needed to get done to actually be able to go on this trip this summer and not really entirely stress ourselves out. So I definitely think it's smart to budget and plan for things as much as possible. And like I said, to have an A, B, C, D, and E option in case you do not get your first picks when you're in the queue to purchase your Tomorrowland Dreamville tickets. All right, let's talk pros. So I would definitely say the pros of Dreamville are definitely going to be the in and out privileges. Per usual for camping festivals, they allow you to come in and out of the campsites whenever you need something. So that's always a good thing to have. I also felt it was nice that they had security walking around and patrolling at night, and it really made me feel safer in another country, as well as a music festival I've never been to, given the current status of what's been going on with music festivals lately. I just love the added security. The fact that there is tons of diverse food options is another big thing for me. While I did not eat a ton of these options, I definitely did sample stuff inside the festival that I definitely don't think I would have tried at any other festivals before. So I highly recommend trying out the foods here, and it's definitely one of my highest pros of this festival. I'm a big foodie, so I love to eat. Another big thing I think is a big pro about Dreamville is the fact that they do offer hot showers. Be it that you have to pay for them in some tiers, I don't think that the cost of them was too detrimental compared to what I've seen other festivals charge for hot showers and those accommodations. And I definitely felt it was worth it for my own personal comfort to be able to take a hot shower each day, as opposed to taking a shower outside and potentially getting sick and being cold or wet and just having a miserable time that way. The biggest pro about Dreamville, in my opinion, is being able to take your tent home. I love the fact that I was able to bring home my Tomorrowland tent, my sleeping bags, my camping mirror, my little lantern, all my little accessories that I got with it. Definitely made the price of what I paid for my Tomorrowland camp that much more worth it. Cons. The only thing I can think of to say about cons for Dreamville is definitely going to be the length of time you spend walking to and from to get to the festival. It is definitely lengthy, especially if you're coming from Magnificent Greens, depending on where your tent is pitched. But other than that, I felt it was really nice. Like, I really don't have anything else to say that they need to improve on. I felt like security was very thorough. I felt like the check-in process was very thorough. All of their accommodations were very nice. And I just have never seen this quality of dedication to making sure that stuff is the way it's supposed to be at any other festival that I've ever been to. So I really have nothing to say that they need to improve on in this section. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe this channel, as well as hit the bell notification so you get notified when new content goes live.